Hey, it's Jake Stewart with Powercore 360, and today we're going to deal with our hip trainer, what it does, drills you can do with it, what it teaches you, what it trains, and how it carries over into the game. Alright, so today we're working with the hip trainer. And what this works on is the muscles in our lower half, how to engage them properly, how to correct movement errors intuitively with the athletes, because not a lot of coaching will get done. And what's critically important with this is we can have easily repeatable quality reps. And that's so important in this game, is just repetitions. Getting repetitions, it's a process. These changes aren't going to happen overnight, and so we want to be able to put ourselves in a position where we can make easily repeatable quality reps. Because if we're practicing the wrong things, the wrong movements, we're going to build bad muscle memory. So what this will help us do is build good muscle memory by taking easily repeatable swings where we're doing all the right movements with our lower body. So now we have it in an assisted phase where it's connected to our back hip and the band's out in front of us. And this is more of a teaching tool. So we're going to go a little slower with the first couple sets of these. Just because it's out front, it's a teaching tool. We're just trying to groove the right movements instead of train the movements like we were doing with the band resisting our hips. So what's really nice about this one is it helps the athletes feel what it's like to just engage their lower half. A lot of young athletes like to swing, don't even engage their lower half at all. All they're doing is just throwing their arms at it. So what this does, the band, if I'm just standing here, the band will naturally just pull my hip through into the position that it needs to be in. So it's kind of just teaching the athletes how to engage their lower half in a swing by pulling their hips through in the proper manner. The other nice thing that it does is it corrects a couple of movement errors. So the first one is, again, if the athlete's really lunging out on their front foot, this band's going to pull them off balance because there's so much tension in front of their body. So it really forced them to firm up that front side. Again, stay behind the baseball. We're trying to drive through the back of the baseball. So this helps the athlete feel what it's like to get on that stiff front side so they have the ability to drive through the back of the baseball. And again, if they get out here, it's going to pull them off balance. And two, another nice thing that this does instructionally is if they swing and they over-rotate, it's going to pull them off balance. Again, they're not strong in their foundation. They're not able to stay balanced all the way through the swing. Again, coaches, that's our only coaching point. Hold your finish. We don't want to start lecturing them, give them 4 or 5 things to think about. In this one, all we're thinking about is just our hips, getting that dot to the pitcher, staying on balance all the way through. Again, if they over-rotate, it'll pull them off. If they lunge, it should pull you off balance. So in order to fix your swing, you should just do it intuitively to where you're able to stay on balance by fixing the movement errors that you made in the previous swing. We're going to hook this resistance band onto our front hip. Me, right-handed hitter, that's my left hip, it's my front hip. And we're going to take a few swings with it. All we're going to focus on here is holding our finish. All right, we don't want to overcoach this. We don't want to talk a lot when our athletes are doing this drill, or if you're doing this drill for yourself. Don't think too much. Coaches, definitely don't talk. We want to eliminate that. Athletes don't learn when you sit and lecture them and talk for 10 minutes. It might make you feel good. I know it does for me when I'm coaching and I sit and talk for 10 minutes. I feel like I really explain myself, but that doesn't really help the athletes. So we really want the athletes just to focus on feeling the right movements, and that's what this is going to do. So when we put this on, our only coaching point is hold your finish for 3 seconds, and that's it. And if they fall off balance, that means they made a movement error, but we don't want to say anything. They should intuitively correct it the next swing. If they want to stay on balance, they're going to fix the errors that they made. So all we're going to do with this is put it on. We can start by taking dry swings. We don't even have to have a bat in our hands necessarily. We can just load, stride, turn our hips, hold our finish. Imagine we have a dot on our back hip. We want to point that dot all the way to the pitcher on our finish. That way we ensure we get a full turn with our hips. And again, if we're making a movement error, our hips are flying open early, whatever it might be, the athlete's going to fall off balance. So in this, all we want to coach, turn, hold your finish for 3 seconds, be able to stay strong in this position, stay balanced all the way through. So a couple things that this resisted on our hips really does for the athletes. First of all, it'll help them feel just a little bit of weight gather in their load, their pre-pitch. We want a little bit of negative before we start into our positive. So this helps them with the band behind us, just helps pull their body a little bit back so they can feel just a little bit of weight transfer. Again, we don't want this knee to get outside our foot, so make sure that their knee is staying in strong. But they should be able to, with this pulling them back, in order to stay on balance again, stay strong in their position. This knee should stay inside that foot, and they should feel just that little bit of weight gather. Another thing that this will do that's nice is as they start to rotate, if they over-rotate, and fall off balance. Again, the band's going to kind of pull them off. It's going to look awkward. It's going to feel awkward. That's the most important part, is the feel piece. So again, they will almost intuitively correct themselves if they're able to swing and hold their finish. Again, that should be a nice full turn, not over rotated, not under rotated. They should fire those hips through, be able to stay here, stay strong, stay balanced. So another thing that's nice about the resisted piece with our lower half on this hip trainer is that it won't allow the athlete to lunge out onto their front foot. When we're hitting, we don't want a lot of weight out here. We want to hit against a stiff front side or a straight leg, not necessarily all the way straight, but we don't want it to be like this. We want to have something firm to hit against. And if the athlete's starting to get out and feel like this, they're going to put a lot of pressure on this band. It's going to feel really awkward. Hopefully they're able to self-correct by this band, helping them stay back a little bit longer. Again, when we're hitting, we're trying to hit the back of the baseball, right? We're not trying to hit over here and roll over everything. Definitely not trying to hit the front. I don't know how that's possible. Trying to hit right in the back of the baseball. So what this will do is this will help them stay behind the ball as it's resisting their hips, because the moment they get out here, that's when they'll start hitting the outside front of the baseball, and that's not what we want. So as they keep their body back, we're able to stay behind the baseball and hit through the ball. All right, so here's a basic progression of what the athletes can do so they can maximize their results and again, take something away from this drill, see some carryover into their games. So the first thing that we can do, which is the easiest thing, no bat in our hands. All we're gonna do is load and stride, turn our hips and hold this finish. There's no bat, no nothing, just nice and easy. Turn their hips fast, again, hold this finish, get that dot all the way to the pitcher. That's kind of the first drill that you can do with this. Again, doesn't require a bat, a ball, a tee, doesn't require very much room. If we want to move on from there, the next thing that we can do, we can actually put a bat in our hands and we can do stop bat at contact. So now we're just working down to contact. We don't even have to take a full swing for this one. So what we're going to do with this one is load and stride. Again, turn our hips fast, stop right at our contact point, check our dot, make sure it's to the pitcher, staying on balance. Again, doing this one fast, staying just like that. It's only down to contact. So from there we can move on. But this one, we won't even need a tee. We won't need anything. They can just take dry swings. So this can be done on the fence, in the backstop, in the on-deck circle, in a cage, in the house, in the backyard, in the garage, wherever it might be. So with this one, again, all they're doing, taking a full swing, holding their finish, checking that dot, making sure it's all the way to the pitcher, making sure they're turning their hips fast throughout their swing. And again, as we're doing this, it's easily repeatable quality reps. All right, there's an argument for quality over quantity, but we want to take a lot of reps, but we want them to be good reps. We don't want to take a lot of bad reps. Again, that's grooving bad muscle memory. So we want to take a lot of quality reps. And again, if we take less reps, but they're good reps, they're quality reps, that's going to be more beneficial than taking more reps that are bad reps. So then from there, we can move on to just finish up with whatever progressions we do naturally in practice. So if you hit off a tee as your next progression, you hit off live pitching, soft toss, front toss, whatever it might be. Again, you don't have to change anything about your drills. All you got to do is put this on and just hit. And again, make sure they hold their finish. That's the only coaching point we're focusing on right now. We're not focusing on our hands, our upper body, anything. We're just focused on holding our finish with our lower half. That dot's all the way to the pitcher, and that's all we're focusing on. So we can move right on to hitting off a tee, whatever it might be, live pitching. Again, focusing on the same things, but now we're just working into a practice routine. So what we're feeling when we take this off, we should really feel like this back hip just wants to turn through. I mean, even standing here, I feel like my hips want to go through the zone. So we always like to make the metaphor, you know, you put the donut on the bat, swing a weighted bat, and you swing that bat for 5 or 10 reps, and you take it off and pick up your normal bat, and it feels like a wiffle ball bat, right? It feels really light, like you're able to swing it through the zone like that. That's exactly what this feels like on our hips. So when we have this resistance band on, that's simulating swinging with the donut on, but the donut's on our body this time. So when we take that off, we take the donut off, now our hips should be able to fly through the zone. All right, so now if we want to move on to graduate level, what we want to do with this assistance piece is after we train the movement with it resisted on our hips, we're working fast explosion. What we want to do now is we want to do overspeed training. A lot of times we see exit velocities grow and change with it resisted because it's strengthening all the right muscles. We're training the right muscles through the hitting movements. Again, we're building better mechanics. We're strengthening all the hip turn, all that stuff. So we're strengthening the turn of our big muscles, increasing bat velocity, ball exit velocity, all that stuff. But sometimes we'll see a plateau, and that's due to the fact that we're only strength training. So we're not doing any speed training with the strength training. So what this does is this helps us with the speed training. It's overspeed, so your body knows that it's okay for your hips to turn that fast. It's going to be faster than you normally turned, maybe faster than you ever turned before. But that's what we want, because we want your body to know that it's okay for your hips to turn as fast as they can, so that we can build speed as well as strength, and that's going to take our velocity up even more. If we hit that plateau, we start doing this where we're over speed training, we're going to see another bump up in exit velocity. But again, in this, with the younger athletes, we want to go about 50% with the first swing, just so their body knows that it's okay, so they're not hurting their back, that nothing's happening like that. If their body's okay, then we can start ramping it up to 75, 80, 90, 100% to get this overspeed training to, again, increase the speed without having to put any extra strain on their body, on their back, or anything. So if we feel anything, we shut it down. But if not, then it's okay. Let's get some overspeed training. And again, all we're trying to do is get our hips turning as fast as we can, stay on balance all the way through our swing. So again, with this one, we can hit balls. We don't even have to have a bat in our hand. We can just turn. We can take dry swings. We can do stop bat. We can hit a heavy bag. There's a lot of different drills that we can do with this. Again, this is all about speed training. So I like hitting off a tee. That way we can still work on some things with our swing. There's a little bit of gamesmanship in there where we're still working on hitting the back of the baseball, driving through the baseball. So again, we're swinging fast and we're holding our finish. Those are only 2 coaching points in this, and that's it. So we don't want to do overspeed training day 1, day 2, in the first week. We don't want to do that. We want to get a base with the system on, get our body familiar with working with resistance and assistance bands. So this is probably, it's really far down the road. It could be month 2, month 3. We want to really build a foundation, make sure all our muscles are strong, our body's feeling in good shape before we work into overspeed training. So again, that's graduate level. It's pretty far down the road. So the end-all be-all result from working with this hip trainer is we want to build better swing mechanics, faster swing mechanics, which will ultimately lead to more confidence in our hitting. And that's the ultimate goal with our hitting, is we want to be as confident as we can at the plate. The moment you start doubting your abilities, thinking negatively, overthinking your swing mechanics, that's the moment you're beat. And in this sport, you need to feel as confident as you can in your swing mechanics, in your speed, and in just your knowing yourself and loving yourself as a hitter. So we're trying to build that confidence to get you to where you want to be, increase your batting average, increase your on-base percentage, increase your home run totals. Whatever your goal is, we step in the box in the game. We don't want to think about our mechanics anymore. We want to trust our hands, trust our body, trust our mechanics, just see the ball and hit the ball. Again, practice time, working on a drill, working in batting practice, that's the time to work on mechanics, build our mechanics, build that muscle memory. When we get in the game, we just got to know it, we got to trust it, we got to have all the confidence in the world that whatever he throws in the strike zone, we're about to hit.